All right. Looks like we got a good group of people joined this evening. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Thank you, everyone. Truly appreciate you taking the time to join us this evening. I think we have some very good information to share with you tonight as we get ready to start our season. So let's go ahead and get rolling. So, just a little bit about me. My name is Steve Dietholm. I am the regional commissioner for our Region 1463. I assumed that responsibility this past January. I have been a volunteer since 2009. I've been involved with the program since 2007. I'm a advanced referee and board member, have a number of certifications. I continue to do this because I really believe in what AYSO does for our communities and for our children. And so I really appreciate the opportunity to work with your kids and the families in the region to provide a great place for our kids to play soccer. So just so you're aware, this session is being we're doing that. So for those parents who aren't able to make the call, it'll get posted to the website so they can hear and see this information as it's presented. And if you have questions, we'll do our best to get them answered. The most effective way to do that during the presentation is to use the chat feature at the screen and type your question in, and we have chat moderators that will be monitoring the chat and answering your questions as we move. Okay, part of what makes AYSO a very special organization is its mission and vision. So our mission statement is to provide a world-class youth soccer program that enriches children's lives. So we take that all very seriously, and the focus of everything we do is to try and live up to that vision. And our mission is to develop and deliver quality youth soccer programs which promote a fun family environment based on the AYSO 6 core philosophies. And that is a precursor into our next slide. So just quickly, these are the 6 philosophies. It's what I think makes AYSO stand apart from other youth sports programs. So our first is everyone plays. In our region, we have amended the national guidelines to ensure that all players play at least 3/4 of a game, which is important for player development and for the players to feel included and to have fun. Our second philosophy is balanced teams. And so we try to do our best to make sure that the teams have equal numbers of players of equivalent skill levels across all teams so that when we play, it can be a fun competitive match for all the teams in our region. Open registration is also somewhat unique to AYSO. That means that you don't have to live in Marietta to play in Marietta. You can be in any community anywhere in the United States, and you're welcome to play in our region or any other region for that matter. Positive coaching. We strive to ensure that the experience that our players have with their coaches is a positive one, where we're working to develop the player and continue to move them forward. We also focus on good sportsmanship. It's more about playing the game and becoming good teammates and good citizens over winning. And one of the most recent uh, philosophies is player development. We really try to focus on developing our players not only as players but as citizens and teammates. So just a little bit about who we are. AYSO is built up of a series of regions. So we are Murrieta Temecula, Region 1463. We are part of a larger whole, which is area, and our area happens to be Area R. These are our sister regions inside of that area. And then area rolls up into Section 1, which is the Southern California section for AYSO. And there's multiple sections throughout the United States. So we want to make sure that we focus on the kids zone. I won't read all of these, but I think it's very important that we all subscribe to focusing on making sure that this is how we conduct ourselves, to make sure that our practices and our fields at game time are a safe and welcoming place for our kids, and that includes our spectators. All right. So, Carlos, are you on?
He might need to be unmuted. I think he had to come back on. Let's see. Ask to unmute. I'm hitting the button now, Carlos.
All right, there you go. I'm here.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right, thank you guys. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome. I'm Carlos Torres. I'm the volunteer coordinator. I'm going to explain our volunteer program in our region. Go ahead, hit the slide. So in AYSO, everything. Sorry, it's a 100% volunteer organization, right? So that means that the whole program is run completely by people who are willing to volunteer their time and help out and be efficient and make the league very efficient. That includes board members like myself and the regional commissioner, Steve, Josh, the coach admin, and Hyman, all the executive board members and board members. So it's a well-run league. I don't want to pat ourselves on the back, but we pride ourselves on doing a really good job. But we also need the help of you guys as parents, right? So your coaches, if they haven't reached out to you today, should reach out to you no later than tomorrow. A lot of them got their rosters this morning. Some of them are getting their rosters this afternoon. But one of the first things they're going to ask you is to help out and volunteer time. So an AYSO volunteer can be anything and everything. We do have positions, right, that you can also uh, take on if you choose to do so. And again, we ask for you to give as much or as little of your time that you can give, because if everyone pitches in, it makes everything so much easier, right? So, like if you look at my slide real quick, it says who can volunteer? Anyone, anyone. There are certain positions that do have to be adults, right, 18 and older, but there are youths that can either become referees, youth referees, and also maybe help us out with tent duty and stuff, so they get their volunteer hours for high school. So, moms, dads, sisters, brothers, grandparents, anyone can help. All we need is a positive attitude and the willingness to help. Go ahead. Again, the next slide is probably going to cover, go ahead, the slide. Sorry for the delay. Oh, so here's different positions, right? So obviously, your coaches, like I said, were already volunteered their time. They go through a lot of training that they have to get done. A lot of it's online, so it's at their convenience. But they are volunteering their time. One of the one things that I want you guys as parents to do is please, please, please remember to always say thank you to the coaches, because they're volunteering their time and their family time so that they can coach your kids. Assistant coaches, if your coach doesn't have an assistant coach, he's going to ask for one or several. You can have more than one. It'd be super awesome if you guys can help them. We need referees, 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 right? Anyone can be a referee. If you look at that picture, it's awesome, right? We got several people from, and sometimes people say, oh, I'm afraid, I'm scared. Don't worry about it. We will help you. I don't want to take the ref group's thunder away, but we will help you through the process. Assistant referees are just ARs on the sidelines or ARs on the sideline. Youth referees, like I talked about. And then we also have volunteer for Epic Buddies to help with our special needs program. Again, all these positions can be filled by anyone. Referees do have to start at the minimum age of 12. Okay, go ahead. So board member positions, again, we take on board member help all the time, as much or as little time as you can give. That'd be amazing. We do have several positions that are executive board positions, and that's what these are right here, the regional commissioner, assistant regional commissioner, treasurer, secretary. Most of these are filled already, but it doesn't mean you can't join our board and help out. We need division coordinators, we need sponsorship coordinators, we need all sorts of positions, anything and everything. Or you could just be a board member at large, meaning you don't necessarily have a specific role, but you're there to help out, and that's all we need. Again, being a board member doesn't mean that you have to be there all day or you have to be involved 100% of the time. It's as much or as little as you're willing to give. Go ahead. As always, we do have high standards and we do have high expectations. No one ever should be disrespecting our volunteers, our coaches, our referees, specifically our referees, and the ref group will go through a new program that got instituted this season. But we always have to show respect. I know we get competitive. I know that we want to win as parents. We want our kids to win and do well, but never at the expense of ever insulting or making comments towards either our coaches or our referees, right? The referees are not the bad guys. At the end of the day, we're all human. If a referee makes a mistake, I promise you, they never do it on purpose, okay? Maybe they're not as skilled or as comfortable yet, but either way, it doesn't matter if they are or they're not. We never, ever, ever show disrespect towards anyone. So make sure you understand that and exemplify that. Go ahead. So to be there are certain positions that do have to get trained. I did mention training. So for example, a coach or a referee, they do have to do some safety certifications. They have to get background check and they have to get fingerprinted. That's all for the safety of the kids. I'm sure you appreciate that. So if anyone volunteers to do those specific positions, you would have to get certified. But I help you through the process, or another board member would help you through the process. Most of it is online, 80 to 90% of it is online, so you do it at your convenience. And most of it's super easy, right? So it's really just going through the slides and going through the presentations and getting that done. But yeah, yes. So if you're interested, please let me know. Now, all that to say, because like I said earlier, AYSO is run 100% by volunteers. No one gets paid. So I want to make sure everybody understands that. We did have a couple seasons ago, I mean, when you were the regional commissioner, they come up to us and say, hey, you guys are asking us to do all this stuff, but what does your salary pay for? I'm like, salary? Yeah, we don't get paid. Okay, so we get paid with laughs and giggles and good times. That's how we get paid. High fives. That's how we get paid. So we do it for the kids, and we do it so that everyone can enjoy themselves watching their kids play and or play the sport of soccer. But all that ties into the volunteer points program that we have here in Region 1463. I'm going to explain it. So every team is responsible for X amount of things. Well, at the end of the season, 8U and above. 8U and above only, schoolyard and 6U, they get a little reprieve. They're not responsible for the volunteer point system. If they want to help, that's absolutely awesome. But again, they're not responsible. But every 8U and above team will have a playoff. We call it the Gem of the Valley tournament, the Gem of the Valley Cup. It's an exciting playoff tournament that we have at the end of the season. But in order to be allowed to play in that tournament or in the playoffs or in an event, because AU has an event rather than a playoff, you must hit your volunteer points per category. If you look in the center of the slide, highlighted in blue, we have the categories of points you have to earn per team, and you have to help your coaches. So there's tent duty, there's field lining, there's taking pictures of your games, there's being certified as a coach, which your coach already did, so they took care of that. Refereeing. So every team has to provide referees for another game, right? Referee certifications. The coaches have to get certified as referees as well, so they do that, and most of them already have. Setting up the goals, and then you can also have a team parent. You can get some extra points that way. So, but every team will have to hit X amount of points per category that's listed there in order to participate in the Gem of the Valley. Now, picture this: the season's almost over. Your team is undefeated, but you don't have enough points to go into the Gem of the Valley because we keep track on a weekly basis, right? And we'll remind the parents and we'll remind the coaches, right? The coaches will send it to you. I send it to the coaches. And you have to hit your points, even if you win every game. But if you've not hit your points per category, unfortunately, your team will not be allowed to be in the tournament. So that hardly ever happens. I would say 99.9% of the time, every team fulfills their responsibility. But sometimes, in the off chance there is a team who does not get enough points. But we will always help you, right? We'll remind you on a week to week basis, and we will ask you guys to help. Your coach will ask you to help so that every team can make the Gem of the Valley. Go ahead. I think there's a little bit of a breakdown. Yeah, so head coach certified, a little checklist we created. Head coach certified, check, because your coach has already done that. Head coach certified as a referee, check. They've either already done it or they're going to do it before game one, so that'll be done. Referee points. Each division will have X amount of points to fulfill per division, right? So your coach will relay that information to you. Jaime will, of course, will also send that to you guys in an email, and it's also posted on our website. So if you guys are curious, before your coach hands it to you, you can always look it up. Miscellaneous points, you need to have 10 points, and that really is just setting up the goals, field lining, doing extra tent duty, doing extra stuff. Tent duty, every team is required to do 4 hours or 4 points. Each point is worth 1 hour of tent duty. Between all the parents on the team, that should be very easy to do. Sportsmanship points. So every team is rated at the end of every game. The referees will get together, huddle up, and rate you guys as parents and your sideline and your coaches and your players from 1 to 5, right? The expectation is always to be 5, which is an outstanding team, right? Good sports at all times. No one's yelling at the refs. No one's yelling at the coaches. Everything's fantastic. If you lose more than 4 points for the entire season, right, you will not be allowed to be in the Gem of the Valley playoff tournament, even if you win every game, right? Because we don't allow, there's zero tolerance when it comes to mouthing off to a referee, mouthing off to another coach, and or being a bad sport, right? So we don't allow that. And then you're required to have 4 action shots every week from your team and a pin win, right? So basically 5 pictures from your game sent to us weekly so we can post on our social media. And then the last thing is the coach has to do that as well. Player evals, your coach will evaluate every one of your players, but the coach will do that. I send it to them. Super easy for them to do. They just rate them from 1 to 5 on 5 different categories. All that is designed to make our league run better, more efficient, and it makes it more fun for everyone to enjoy. Go ahead. So there's the fall season guidelines. If you want to quick, like I said, if you're interested in reading it now before your coach sends it to you, you could use your phone real quick, use it, scan that QR code. It takes you directly to the volunteer point system, how it works and why it works. And it is, again, designed so that if everyone pitches in, it makes the league run so much better, right? And I hate to sound cheesy, but we're only as strong as the people behind the league that help us make it a well-run league. So we definitely need your help. And hopefully you guys are out there helping your coaches. I think that was it for me. Go ahead, hit the next slide. There's me, my information. Most of you have my info. Most of you I've called, I've texted, I've emailed. You can always call me anytime. And I think that's it for this slide. I'm moving on. Next is Morrow for the referee group.
There we go, Maura.
There you go. I forgot that part. Good afternoon, parents. My name is Mark Guevara. I'm a referee administrator. I've been with AYSO since 2009. I'm a board member. I'm an advanced referee working at National. I like what I do. I don't have a kid in the program, but I still like to participate and help out the region. Next slide. So we're going to talk about referee real quick, the program. As you can see, the triangle, right? Parents, referees, and coaches, right? You all make that triangle in order to support the kids. So that's what we're here for, right? We're gonna need to create a positive environment for the players and make our region a great place to play soccer. So that's what it boils down to, right? We all got to work together to make it fun for the players. That's what we're here for. Next slide. The referee is responsible for enforcing the laws of the game. That's what we're here for. Make sure we manage a game and we make it safe, fair, and fun. That's what we're there for. We don't want to be blowing the whistle every time just to stop the game. We just want to make it safe, fun, and fun for everybody. AU division games, right? As every game, we need a certified referee to have a match. Without a referee, there's no match. But knock on wood, there's been more than 5 years, I can say more than that we have not have a referee in our matches. So let's continue the trend. Remember, we're all volunteers. We all make mistakes, right? We're not perfect. So don't yell at the referees, specific anybody. It doesn't matter the age of the referee. Just don't yell at them. And just, breathe and then just ask the questions later what happened. But don't yell at the referee. Being a referee is rewarding at AYSO, right? Like myself, when I started, I didn't want to do it. I just want to sit down, enjoy my kids, enjoy the game, and watch my kids play. But unfortunately, right, like Carlos says, it's all 100% volunteer organization. And I got sucker into it, right? Started as a coach, now a referee, now I'm part of the board, and I like it, and that's why I keep doing it. As always, right, AU matches require a referee. We gotta have referees, right? So parents, if you have any kids old enough, send them to the classes, right? We're gonna have several classes coming up where they can become certified referees and be part of the region, become part of a great program, right? And help us join the team. Let's get these games filled up. Next slide. Youth referees. I think Carlos talked about it. We welcome every youth referee, right? We got to build the future of the referee program, right? Remember, we're all getting older. We're not going to be any longer. We won't be able to run anymore. So we got to build that foundation about the youth referee. So if you have any kids, high school kids that would like volunteer opportunities, send them to the classes. I guarantee you they're going to enjoy it, and they're going to enjoy the process of becoming a referee. Remember, as always, we don't tolerate any type of nonsense against any referee, specifically youth referees, right? So don't yell at the referees. Next slide. The mentor program, right? I can say that we have one of the best mentor programs in the area against section. Anybody you can put against anybody. We take the time to help you out. From the second you take the class, we assign mentors to you. We're gonna provide you feedback as far as any positive feedback, things that you need to improve on. We have an amazing program, and our goal is to make sure that you are comfortable as you step in the pitch for the first time. Right? Trust me, I went through that process. I didn't have a mentor. I just figured it out on my own. Right now, this region has a mentorship program that can help you out, be successful, and become a better referee. Next slide. As you can see right now, we got a lot of classes coming up. Take the opportunity if you want to become a referee. Parents, right? You got to help out on those volunteer points. Come over to those classes. We got several classes coming up. We got a full course on Saturday the 30th. There's the location. If you want more information, just reach out to me, and we'll give you the information required. Next slide. I'm just going to cover this briefly. This is the Referee Abuse Prevention Program policy, which is created by USA Soccer in order to prevent the abuse towards referees. We already had this in place before, but now it's a little more stricter for as far as it's going to be more sanctions for parents, coaches, or anybody that wants to yell at referees. Next slide. So, like I said, what is it? The rap, it's just kind of like preventing the abuse towards referees, right? Is it different what we have in the past, what today? No, right? The only difference is that it's gonna be more stricter sanctions, right? The referees, yeah, we're gonna observe what's going on and we're gonna report it to the coaches, right? You just gotta be mindful. You gotta mind your p's and q's as you on the sideline coaching. Just coach your players, right? And to the region and area board members. If anything happens, it will be reported to the region and area to take it further action. Next slide. As you can see right here, there's a table right here that kind of tells you, the consequences of even insulting a referee, minimum of 2 games. Any offensive or discriminatory acts, that's a minimum of 10 games. So that's a long time. That's almost like a season, almost 2 seasons. So be mindful as you're sitting around on the sidelines, what you say and who you say it to. If you want more information about all this stuff, will be posted on the website. Next slide. So if you have any questions for me, there's my email. Don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Like I said, we have classes coming up. Come over and become a referee. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Jim Simpson. I'm the safety director and also the help on the ref admin team as the ref scheduler. If you have any questions on, like with anything with your certifications, if you're a new referee or a returning referee and you're not, being able to access our scheduling program or anything, just reach out to me. You can reach out at the safety email or the ref scheduler email. They all kind of go to the same place. So feel free to do that. Just to kind of echo what Mauro said, I was, brand new to soccer and brand new to all of that. Never played or anything as a kid growing up, but became a referee and really enjoyed it and really found it a fun way to interact with, my kids on the field and their kid and my kids' friends. So it's a great program and a great way to be involved. And there's a lot of help that you get along the way with that mentoring program. But I'll head back to the safety procedures now. The biggest questions that I get on an annual basis is have to do with weather that parents email me about. Want to just remind you that AYSO 1463 does not cancel any games due to the rain. Whenever it's raining, we don't have necessarily policies in place unless the field becomes unmanageable or unsafe. But most of the time, the city of Murrieta might be a little bit more conservative than we would want to be, or even what the parents would want to be on closing the fields. The muddy fields with the kids' cleats they can get really damaged. So the city of Murrieta will close the fields pretty quickly whenever there is rain. If games get canceled, we try to make those up, but that's not something that we can always do. But we do try to make those up. Coaches will notify you of changes in schedule. You also will have social media pages, and there's a lot of email alerts. So make sure that if you use the throwaway email, for your registration, make sure that you're please checking that, on a weekly basis or daily basis whenever there's weather and things like that. Second biggest question that I get most of the time has to do with heat policy. If the day is deemed to be hot, all games will be given extra water breaks per quarter. Make sure that you bring lots of water for your players on these days. That's always really important, but especially important on the hot days. We basically use the same type or the same information that the schools use to determine if kids can go outside for recess and things like that. We go to the same websites and pull up the maps for our areas and look at the risk factors and those kind of things. If you do not want your kid to play or to play less on those weeks whenever it's really hot, especially early in the season, just let your coaches know, and that way the coaches can inform us, and that won't be a problem. And like I said earlier, if makeup dates become available, parents will be notified if we have to do any game cancellations. Next slide. Some safety notes to keep in mind. Non-registered youth and non-registered volunteers cannot participate in practices or games. So siblings cannot help during practices. That's one thing that sometimes comes up during the season. Under no circumstances should adults play in scrimmages or games. That includes playing games with other adults or minors, including the coaches. So please keep that in mind at the practices. Our coaches will be, asked to enforce that. If you do want to help out, it's really easy to become a registered volunteer. Carlos talked about that earlier. You don't even necessarily need to be an assistant coach standing, but we do need to make sure if you're on the field with players and helping in some way that you're a registered volunteer. Club linesmen, if we ask for parents to do that, if we were ever not have assistant referees for the sidelines and we have a center referee for a match, please remember that if you do volunteer to be a club linesman, you're not covered by our insurance policy. So keep that in mind if you're not a registered volunteer, or if you are and participating in that role. Parents must remain on and at the field not on the field like the practice field, but like on the sidelines of the field with their children for all ages 10U and under. So there's no drop-offs during practice. This is very important. Our coaches cannot, be held responsible for the children at the 10U and under age. At 12U and under, it does get to be a little bit more lax. So please keep that in mind, and don't put your coach in that position where your child is there without a parent nearby. If you do have any concerns, such as learning disabilities or anything, please feel free to discuss those concerns with your coach or with the region. The region will work with you. You can really email any of us on the board. You can email me. You can email the volunteer coordinator. You can email all the way up to the RC. It's kind of an open book, but if you start with your coach or your division coordinator or myself, the safety director, then we can get that sent up to the right people and the right figure out the right way to work with you to get any kind of issue resolved. Another thing, please, this happens occasionally in the region. There can be no clear identification of players. So any AYSO clothing, backpacks, uniforms, anything like that must avoid displaying the player names for safety reasons. So this is one of our national bylaws that we have to go by. Regarding team banners, names are okay as long as it's the first name only and doesn't tie the name to a specific jersey number. So if you're the team parent helping out with that, or just one of the other parents that are helping out with getting a team banner done, if you're good with arts or something like that, please keep that in mind, that we have to avoid displaying those player names for safety reasons. Okay, next slide. This is something that does come up usually a few times a year. Please remember and let anyone know that's coming to the games that there's no pets allowed. Please keep your pets at home for all AYSO activities. This includes AYSO events, including things like our coach meet and greet and things like that. All practices, all games. We love our pets. Most of the people on the board are board owners, but we just have to enforce the rules that are from the organization. Service animals are okay, but service animals are specifically trained to do work or perform tasks with persons with disabilities. So we follow the Americans with Disability Act as far as guidance with that. Emotional support animals are not something that would be allowed. They need to be actually trained service animals to be at the fields. Next slide. And here's my information. You can email me at any time, like I said. The last little bit that I have, it's not on a slide. If your child does get injured in a practice or a game and a coach is trying to fill out the incident report for that, please cooperate with them. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get that tracked down and get all that information submitted to National. You can look at that form. It's on the safety website. So please go there. There's a ton of information for you to review there. If you have any questions, that way you can see the form in advance to know what kind of might be asked if a child is injured on the practice field or in a game field. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Jim. So here's a little bit of general information for your parents just to get you ready for the season to start. So for parents who are new, just a quick thing on equipment. Your schoolyard to 8U players will need a size 3 soccer ball. If you're a 10U or a 12U player, you would want a size 4 soccer ball. And 14U and above, you want to have a size 5 soccer ball. We will be issuing captain armbands to the coaches, and those will be distributed to the captains in each game for them to wear. It's nothing for you as a parent to worry about, but you'll see players wearing them during the games. There are things that are not allowed. There's no jewelry allowed. So no earrings, no watches, no necklaces. Earrings can't be taped over. They have to be removed. No nose rings. Medical bracelets are okay, but they need to be taped down. And the reason for that and the bracelets is they're loose around the wrists, and another player's finger could get caught under that, and then either both or one of the players could get hurt. So that's why we don't allow jewelry. No sunglasses are allowed unless they're prescription. If the unfortunate incident of your player suffers an injury and has to wear a cast or a splint, they're not able to play. They can't wear that even if it's padded over. Soft braces are okay, but it can't have any metal inserts. There'll be no hats with hard brims allowed, but stocking caps on cold days are allowed. And for parents, please, no noisemakers, no radios, no boom boxes, anything on the sidelines. Those are just not allowed. Okay, most our games are played at Warm Springs Middle School. The 14U teams will travel, and that will be discussed in a little bit. But when we come to Warm Springs Middle School, we have two places to park. We can park in the Torrey Pines parking area, which is our secondary area next to the baseball field. Our primary location is up in the parking lot of the school. So please do what you can to do that. And please do not park on Silver Oaks Drive. The residents in that neighborhood were upset by the amount of park traffic that we had. And we've been working closely with the city and Marietta PD to make sure that no one parks there and no one gets ticketed for being there. Practice fields. There are a number of practice fields around Marietta that we have permits to use. Torrey Pines Park is one, or Warm Springs Middle School, Avaha Elementary School, Chavela Middle School, Vintage Reserve. All of those are open to us for use for practice. Your coaches are currently working with Carlos to get the practice schedule finalized, and that will be communicated to you shortly. In terms of parking in the Torrey Pines parking lot, we leave the first two slots of that next to the gate open. And the reason that we do that is to ensure that in the unfortunate event that someone gets seriously injured and we need to call an EMT and get an ambulance onto the field, we don't have any issues getting that ambulance onto the field. So please respect the fact that we have that coned off and leave that open so emergency vehicles can get onto the field if they're needed. For our extra team families and our upper division 14, 16, and 19U families, this is the seating arrangements or the spectating arrangements that we have. All parents and spectators must be to the left of the technical area, which is where the coaches and the players sit, and that sits at the center line, 10 yards either side of the center line. Where the assistant referee is, there'll be no spectators allowed behind there, and there's no spectators on the goal lines. So please, and also please do not sit behind the technical area. That section is dedicated to coaches and the players. All right, just a little bit on Gem of the Valley. I know Carlos spent some time on that. Just to give you some dates, Gem of the Valley tournament and celebration will be held on November 15th and 16th. And as we called out, you need your volunteer points for your teams to be eligible to play. For those parents who are new to our region, we do a development pin program that at the end of each game, the two teams stand at the center of the field, and each team will select a member of the other team that is deserving of the pin that's awarded that week. It's I think, a very positive program, and has been adopted in a number of other regions around the area for the benefits that it provides to our players and their well-being. All right, so some dates that we need to talk about. Rosters went out today. There was a technical issue with some of the 10U and 8U rosters. Those were corrected and they have gone out. So everyone should be hearing from their coaches starting tonight if they've not already reached out to you. Just so you're aware, a coach meet and greet is scheduled for this coming Saturday. It'll be at the Carl's Jr. on Scott Road. We'll have the dates by division and times by division here shortly, so stand by. Practices will begin next week, starting potentially Monday. Your coaches have the option to choose the dates and the times that they will have their practice, so that will get communicated to you. And uniform distribution. We've run into a supply chain issue with our uniforms this year. Our shipment will now arrive on August 22nd. And so we will get those uniforms out to the coaches so they can be distributed out to you as quickly as possible. One thing that we would like to discuss is best practices for uniform distribution. This was discussed with your coaches on Tuesday night, but we'll share it here. The standard uniform kit that we order for our kids are numbered 1 to the number of roster positions on your team, and the number 2 is the smallest uniform in the kit, and the largest number is the largest uniform in the kit. So what we recommend the coaches do is have all your players meet at practice. You line them up in order, and you issue the uniform in that order so that you have the best opportunity for those to fit. It is possible to get replacement uniform items if things just don't fit, but we find that if we do this distribution process, we minimize the number of items that need to be replaced, and replacement times can be long. So we want to make sure that we do our best I can to get the uniforms onto the players the best way they can be to fit them. All right. Next slide for me. Okay, picture day. Picture day, due to the uniform issue, has been moved out to Sunday, September 7th. The schedule will be coming out soon. Kids will be taking individual pictures this year. More information will come on the schedule. We do not intend to offer a makeup day, so please do what you can to make it on Sunday the 17th. Pictures should be taken in the afternoon. At least that's what we're working for. Now that our teams are formed and the rosters have been distributed, we know all of our coaches, and so the game schedule will start to be built, and we will get that communicated out as quickly as we can. First games, our EPIC program, which is everyone plays in our community, which is set for our special needs families. Their first game and event will be on Friday, September 5th. All of our area play core divisions, such as 14, 16, and 19U, those games will start the week of September 2nd, and that schedule is getting finalized and should be distributed shortly. And for our core divisions, the games that we play at Warm Springs Middle School, our first game will be on Saturday, September 6th. Please do try to get to the park early. Traffic is a concern, and you want to make sure that you get your players there on time for warm-ups. And just also know that the weekend of 11/8, that's the weekend before Veterans Day, we will have no games scheduled for that weekend. All right, the meet and greet. Again, it's at the Carl's Jr., which is on Scott Road in Marietta. It will be this Saturday. Here are the times for all the divisions. This information is also on our website and has been distributed over social media and emails. So please make note of the time where your division is supposed to be there, and meet your coach and get your questions answered, and get ready to start your practices next week. Also note that any food that is purchased at the restaurant during the meet and greet, 20% of those proceeds are donated back to our region. So this is also acting as a fun fundraiser where you get to eat some delicious Carl's Jr. and help the region with some additional money. And so with the money that you spent at Carl's Jr., we have the opportunity to save you some money. So this weekend, starting on tomorrow the 15th out through Sunday, Dick's Sporting Goods in Temecula has given us a 20% off your entire purchase. So if you need any equipment for your players, or you need something for yourself, anything you would like to buy at Dick's Sporting Goods, you can use this coupon to get 20% off. All right, sponsorships. We use our sponsorships to help try to defer the costs of running the program for buying coaches equipment or referee gear. So if any of you are business owners or know business owners that would be interested in supporting the region through a sponsorship, please reach out to me. There's information on our website to give you information about the different sponsorship levels that we have and what that sponsorship provides to you in terms of social media advertising and impressions at the field. So anything we can do to help keep our costs down is a welcome thing. And so we really are trying to grow the number of sponsorships that we have. On our website, there's also a custom fan shop that we have where you can go in and order different pieces of apparel, and there's options available to you to customize it with some different graphics and fonts and colors. It's kind of a cool thing to play with. Again, this is somewhat of a fundraiser. We do get money returned to us for anything that's purchased through here. If you are interested in buying that, just be aware that it takes a few weeks for the order to be processed and shipped and delivered. So if you want something, order early so you can wear it as long as you can on the sidelines for this season. Again, on social media, a lot of information gets sent out over our social media platforms, not just results and pictures from the past weekend's games, but noteworthy items, training opportunities. The coach meet and greet went out there. We also post out on social media channels if we're going to have closures to the fields. All that information gets pushed out there. So I highly recommend that you subscribe to one or all of the social media platforms that we advertise on. And with that, I'll turn this over to our schoolyard coordinator for her to discuss the EPIC and our schoolyard program. Wendy?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Wendy Boylan. I've been with the region for 4 years now. My daughter started in 10U, and then I started coaching, and now I'm the schoolyard coordinator. Love this region. It's really awesome. So welcome, you all. I hope you all have a great season. First slide, please. So one of our programs is our EPIC program. It's for our special needs families. They meet on Fridays starting September 5th, and they'll go until October 31st. Sessions are from 4:30 to 5:15. They're about 45 minutes. There's no practice. They will use a size 5 ball. And they will get uniforms, and they'll do a little practice as a group, and then they will play a game. Shauna is the person who runs it. And we also have what we call buddies. So we have volunteers that come out and help Shauna with the players, just to kind of help get them, involved and just make it more fun. And it's just a really good time, and our special needs families enjoy it. Next slide, please. So like I said, I'm the schoolyard coordinator. So our schoolyard is our very smallest, youngest group. We hope that this is where they learn to love the game of soccer. Schoolyard is ran a little bit different. We do not have practices. We only play on Saturdays. We always play at Torrey Pines. We will have 2 different sessions. We will have a session that starts at 9 in the morning, and then another one that will start at 10. Your coach will find out which session you will have, and then they will let you know what time your session is. It's a total of 9 sessions. They only play in the morning, like I said. It's a 45-minute session. We have no practices, so just Saturday. And they will play with a size 3 ball. They do not have to have cleats, but they should have a good solid shoe, tennis shoe. Some of those players will come in cleats, and if they're wearing a shoe that's not super solid, and they get stepped on, it will hurt. Just like all of the other divisions, they must have shin guards. We cannot allow them to be on the field without shin guards. This program is designed for the kids to, do basic things: hop, jump, skip, run, throw, balance, kick the ball. Your coaches will be on the field, but we also have a master coach that we partner with. And that person will be the master coach, and they will show a drill, or they will start a game, and your coaches will help encourage your players to get involved. Again, they're 3 and 4. They may not want to get on the field and participate. They may just want to sit in your lap, and that is 100% okay. No child will be forced to get on the field. Our coaches will encourage your player to come and join them, but we will never make them play. You will get some tears, and that's okay too. I have been out there working with them as well, and I've had times where a player will be completely fine, and he, as a coach, has walked up to try to get them to come and play and turn into tears. So just know that is completely age appropriate. If they do not want to play, please still bring them out on Saturday mornings. Eventually, hopefully by the end of the season, a lot of times, it's the last 2 games of the season and they're finally out on the field. And that's okay. They're still learning the game of soccer while they're sitting in your lap. So it's okay for them to do that, but please just continue to bring them out. I know it's really hard with this age group, but it really truly is important for them to still come and just see what everyone else is doing. They will get a uniform, and I like to tell the parents that they are super little, so they don't always fit correctly, especially the shorts. So if you have other shorts that may fit better than the ones that they receive with their uniform, it's okay for them to wear that. We would prefer them to have shorts that fit, but and not lose their shorts. We've had that happen before. So it's okay to wear different shorts. It can be a different color. It doesn't have to be the black that we have, as long as they fit. Next slide. And that's all I got. Again, if you have any questions or concerns about anything, Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If I don't have the answer, I will definitely find it and get back to you. Hope you all have a great season.
Perfect. Thank you, Wendy. Good evening, parents. My name is Josh Schwartz. I'm the coach administrator here in the region. I have been in the region I'm on my 10th year now, and I haven't had a kid in the program for the past 2.5, 3 years or so. I just really love the region. All the people that have been talking to you this evening are like my second family. And I really love our community. Our parents are great. I love the smiles from the kids and all our amazing coaches. So that's why I am still here. So next slide, let's kick this along. So we'll talk about each division a little bit. I'm going to hit on some main points as far as the details, like practice dates and times and stuff like that. You guys can kind of read that while I talk. And then if you do have any questions about it, just throw it in the chat. So 6U are, the next step above a schoolyard. There are 4 and 5-year-olds. This is really where we encourage them to explore and experiment, participate with and without the ball. So it's their first real introduction to soccer and playing in a game format and stuff like that. So no official referees for 6U. And real important, 6U parents, the guy who is your point of contact for your division is Mr. Alex Goodwin. His information's there at the bottom with his handsome photo there. So write down his information if you have any questions, comments, concerns, issues throughout the season that you and your coach can't handle. That's the guy you should be reaching out to. Perfect. Next slide. Thank you. All right, so here's some kind of shared information between the 8U, 10U, and 12U divisions. All that shared information is over to the left. When we move into the 8U division, we're going to start focusing, building up from the 6U age group, and we're going to start focusing on quality training, good habits, really building those strong foundations for player development. At the same time, it's got to be age appropriate. It's all about having fun and smiles and making it like games during practices and stuff like that, because of course they are still kids. They're 6 and 7-year-olds, most of them. And then moving up to the 10U division, this is where they turn into sponges. This is where they really start learning the game and start focusing on building their techniques and skill sets with the soccer ball and on the field. And it's really, they love to just go on an adventure with the ball. So, you'll see this is the age 2 where you'll really start to see a handful of players probably stand out as far as their skill level and things like that. So the 10U division is an amazing division. It's my favorite division to referee because the kids are just all smiles. They're still having fun and just loving the game. It's not quite so competitive to them yet. Moving on to the 12U division. So we're going to continue and build on that foundation of player development in a fun, slightly competitive environment. The players are obviously going to be competitive, and that's okay for them. Just remember, we're there to develop them as players and as people. Perfect. Next slide. And I think we actually have our 8U division coordinator on the line, who, by the way, parents, let's give a huge round of applause and a shout out to Miss Liz, who is our newest coach instructor in the region. So when all of you parents decide to become coaches, there's a really good chance you'll have Liz instructing you for your coach certification. So congratulations, Liz, again. And without further ado.
Hey parents, I am the 8U division coordinator. I've been with AYSO 1463 for about 2.5 years. And this season, I don't have kids in the program either anymore. But as we've heard so many times tonight, this region and the support and the team that we have here has kept me coming back and engaged. And it's like Josh said earlier too, it's almost like a second family. I love participating and seeing all the growth. So in 8U, like we talked about a little bit, they're continuing to develop into what the game really means as a player. So we've got 60-minute practices 2 times a week. You've got 40-minute games. They're 2 20-minute halves, and they do include quarter breaks in there. Thanks, Ashley. Thanks, Omar. It is 6v6 with no goalkeeper, even though the picture on the slide is a little bit deceptive. We do not have goalkeepers in 8U. They're still really focusing on player development and starting to really learn that true game environment. To that end, we do have referees in the 8U division. We have one center referee, and really our goal is to, like you've heard tonight already, keep it fun, keep it fair, keep it safe, right? Our goal is to let the game be the teacher for the kids and to keep the game moving. So as an 8U ref, we're going to try as much as possible to not stop the game unless it's something that's, not safe or just not fair. No, we don't have offside yet. For those of you parents who have been in soccer for a while, there is no offside yet in 8U. And we are still using a size 3 ball for this division. So let's go. How many practices a week for 8U? It's 2 times a week maximum. Most of our coaches do elect to practice twice a week for the 8U division. So, and that is limited to 60 minutes per practice, but the majority of our coaches do practice twice a week for that division as well. And next slide, please. Yes, I get the build outline. Woohoo! In the 8U division, in addition to adding the referee in the games, we also have added the build outline. It's really just an opportunity for the kids to start getting more comfortable, and less pressure. So they're having goal kicks, they're having, corner kicks, throw-ins, and those types of things. And we're just giving them that opportunity to really play and move that ball forward without that instant pressure from the opposite team. During goal kicks, the opposing team does have to move beyond the build out line, and we as referees in that 8U division will absolutely help them remember that. They can get really excited and they kind of want to move up and defend that and get that ball. So we will help them with that, but it just kind of gives them that space in order to really learn some of those rules of the game. And again, with 8U, they're starting to build their skills a little bit more. There's still a lot of crowding the ball and there's not a lot of strategy that goes on. It's really just about continuing to let them have fun, let the game be the teacher, and to just start developing those ball skills and some of that awareness of what's going on the field. But it's a really fun age, and it's fun to ref and it's fun to coach.
Perfect. That was amazing, Liz, as usual. I don't think anybody expected anything less. Appreciate that. All right, so moving along to the rest of the divisions, we're going to breeze through these real quick. The other division coordinators are on the call, so I'm just going to run through them. All the details for the 10U division are on the left. The big takeaways from this is the first age group with goalkeepers. So that's definitely a big change from 8U to 10U. Parents, keep in mind, if your child is a goalkeeper, they cannot play more than 2 quarters in the game as a goalkeeper. So that's important to know. And full offside law is now in effect, and 10U also uses a build-out line. We also use a full 3-person referee crew for 10U and above. And this is the age where you're moving up to a size 4 soccer ball. So Kellen down there at the bottom is your 10U division coordinator, parents. He's also the assistant coach administrator. So he is more than willing to help. Reach out to him and he will get you the answers and or information that you are looking for. Next slide, please. Perfect. It's a very similar slide to the one you just saw with 8U. It's really too much to go over in this meeting, parents, but this video link will be sent to all of you. We told your coaches to send it to you as well. It'll be posted on our website, of course, like everything else. Parents, please, 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 I beg you, watch the video and educate yourself about the offside law and what a build-out line means and everything like that. Most of the grumbles or complaints or gripes or whatever that comes from referees and parents and coaches is because people don't understand the offside law. So do us all a favor, educate yourself, watch the video when we send it to you. It's a quick 4 or 5 minute video. It makes it really easy to understand offside and a build-out line, and it will only make us all better for it. So that's enough on that. Next slide, please. Perfect. Trucking along to 12U. As you can see, Ernie is our 12U division coordinator. This guy is amazing. His aura is always positive. He's all smiles all the time. Whenever you meet Ernie, you're just going to want to spend more time with him. That's just how he rolls. But moving on to 12U, so this is where we're going to start teaching all positions and encourage players to play all positions. Okay, and as the goalkeeper rules for 12U is goalkeepers now can play up to 3/4 in a 12U match. But in that instance, if your player does play 3/4 in the goal, they must play a 4th quarter on the field. It doesn't matter what order those quarters go in, but if they're 3/4 in the goalkeeper, they have to play a 4th quarter on the field. Keep in mind, this is not common due to simple roster numbers, because no player should be sitting twice until every player has sat out once. So it'd be very rare that coaches have the opportunity to play any player for all 4 quarters. But in the instance that happens, those are the goalkeeper regulations for 12U. Keep in mind, parents, also for all age divisions, 12U and below, no headers are allowed. And also a size 4 soccer ball, just like 10U. Perfect. Next slide. First Touch Soccer. So parents, this is an amazing program. If you're returning parents, you're probably familiar with this. It's a fantastic program that we provide for you, for our players, and for our coaches. The ultimate goal from First Touch Soccer is to help train our coaches to become even better coaches. So the way it works is we do coach mentoring sessions that your coaches will sign up for and take your team to the designated location with an FTS coach. And the FTS coach will run some sort of practice session or whatever your coach asks them to work on. They'll build a practice session around that and help your coach run the team through it, all at the same time teaching, training, and guiding your coach to become a better coach, right? So that's the idea behind it. So those are Mondays and Wednesdays, those coach mentoring sessions. On Fridays, parents, this is super cool and super important. It's player skills clinics. So First Touch Soccer will put on these skills clinics that are open and free for you to bring your players. They'll have topics week to week. Maybe it's striking or dribbling or ball control or whatever they decide to do as far as skills clinics. Bring your players along. There's no fee for it. Doesn't cost you anything. It just gets them extra touches on the ball, runs off some extra energy for them, and helps make them more skilled soccer players. So obviously more information will be sent out about this through emails, and Carlos will let you know, and I'll send coaches emails, and so on and so on. So tons of information on there, but a super, super great program that we are telling you as parents and all of your coaches to take advantage of, because it's amazing program. Next slide. Perfect. And then we're going into the upper division. So 14U and up. This is where they finally moved to the full-size field, the big field. The matches are 11v11 matches. And the big kickers from 14U is this is where players don't need to move around as far as positioning. If you're a defender, they can just be a defender. That's fine. There are no goalkeeper restrictions for 14U and up. They can play the whole game in the goal. But once again, this is not common simply due to playing time requirements. It's not going to happen very often, if it happens at all, where any player can play all 4 quarters. Okay. 14U divisions and up, headers are now allowed. So I remember that's one of the things my daughter was most excited about when she got 14U. She didn't really care about any of the other stuff, I'm telling you. She was just excited that she got to use her head now. So 14U and up, they can use headers. And 16U, 19U, the big difference there is 16U and 19U the game is played in 2 halves. There are not quarter breaks, and they have what we call free substitution. So at any stoppage of play, with the referee's permission, coaches can substitute players in and out as much as they want. So it's 2 halves, not quarter breaks. It's basically like a professional game would be played. So all of the dates and everything is off to the right. And all of these age divisions now use a full size 5 soccer ball. Perfect. Next slide. So parents, super important. This is one of the things your coaches and all the emails that you're going to get are going to be asking you for and kind of preparing you for. So if you're playing the first game of the day on whatever field you're playing on, We're going to ask you and your coaches to just kind of help out before the players jump on the field, and certainly before the match starts. We got to make sure the field is safe for our kids. So we're going to check the field, maybe just walk over it, see if you see any issues like gopher holes or big ant hills or anything crazy that might be a safety issue. And of course, we want to address those safety issues before the players get on the field. Kind of the same thing with closing tasks. So if you are the last game of the day on that particular field, we're going to ask each team to help put the goals away, put the corner flags away, all the equipment that is put out for the day. Help clean up, and obviously we want to pick up all our trash around the field and leave it looking nice like it was when we arrived. Okay, next. Perfect. So parents, this is super important. We've told and strenuously stressed all of your coaches to use this team app, the Mojo team app. It's a fantastic app. If you've been around soccer for more than a season or two, you've probably used this app or maybe some other sort of team app, sports app or whatever. This is what we're encouraging our coaches to use. So you can get a jump on it, download the app. And then when your coach sends you the invite, you're already ready to go. This is how your coach should be communicating with you. You can see schedules there. You can make snack schedules on it. You can post pictures and videos of the games and practices and all that stuff. It does everything you want it to do and more. So parents, will be ready. Your coach is probably going to ask you to join this app for communications with you and the players. Next. Perfect. Once again, parents, these are your division coordinators and their contact info. This is a great resource. If you have any questions or concerns or anything, these people really should be your first point of contact. No board member that you reach out to will ever turn you away and say, I'm not going to answer you, go find your division coordinator, right? But parents, please get in the habit of contacting your division coordinators first. That is what they're there for. These are all fantastic people. They've all been with our region for several years. They're all board members, and a lot of them don't even have kids in the program, but they're still here helping our community and our children provide this this sport to the region. So there you go. Next slide. Perfect. And that's me and my contact info, parents. So like I just said, if you have any questions or any issues, you can contact me just as well as you can contact your division coordinators. I will not ignore you or turn you away. I will get you information or answers to whatever you're asking about. And so there we go. I think that's it for me. Thanks again, parents. Carlos, so unmute Carlos. There we go.
Give him a segue, Josh.
Hey guys,
There you go.
Oh man, I missed it. Hold on, wait, Carlos. Parents, Mr. Carlos Torres, the one and only, the mayor, the governor of Marietta, our volunteer coordinator and competitive play coordinator, Mr. Carlos Torres.
Thanks for that. I feel like I should walk in with some lights or something. I don't know. Anyways, hey guys, real quick, it's me again. So I'm also the competitive play coordinator, so I want to explain the two programs quickly that we have. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Again, I'm going to go over it very briefly. So we do have two very competitive programs after the core program. The next level is actually called the Spring Select, and like the name says, it's only available in the spring. In a nutshell, in a summary, it really is all-stars versus all-stars. That's the way the program works. We call it Spring Select. The way it works is that the players have to have played in the fall season, which is the season we're going to play now. And then if a coach would like to have a select team or an all-star team, they first have to apply, do an application, and then the board would then approve that coach to be a spring select coach. There are several criteria, for example, being a good representative of the region, volunteering in the region, then of course having all the coach certifications and the knowledge to be a soccer select coach. Not everyone gets approved as a coach, right? There are people that apply, but unfortunately, again, there's certain criteria they have to hit. Once the coach gets approved per that division, per that gender, it is up to them to select players from the fall and form a team, right? So again, like the name says, they can randomly pick players as long as they've played in the fall. Now, it is super competitive. This program is for parents and players that are very serious about playing soccer. If they just want to be social, they just want to have fun, hang out with their friends and make friends on the soccer team, that's perfectly okay, and that would be the core program. Spring Select is another level, and it is very, very competitive, right? So it has to be taken very serious, not only from the players, but also from the parents. You do travel, right? And you can travel as far as an hour and a half away. So that's another thing you have to consider for being on the Spring Select team. More to come on this. Like I said, it is on our website. Coaches are actually within the first 2 weeks of our season and this fall will get an opportunity to apply if they're interested in the program. And then again, only if a coach gets approved for that division and that gender will we then offer a Spring Select team. Again, the coach gets to decide who goes onto his team, right? They're the ones who select the team, and again, based on what they want. Go ahead and move on. And then the next one. So the next one is the another level higher than Spring Select. This is our AYSO Extra program. This is club level soccer at an AYSO price, right? So any player that manages to make it to an extra team, which is our club level soccer, is very, very fortunate because they will pay a fraction of the cost of club teams. Club teams now are, I think, are upwards of $3,000, $3,500 for a year, plus uniforms, plus other fees. It adds up, right? Most of our programs, depending on the division, are roughly right around $500 to $650, right? Don't quote me on that price because it can change. But for this year, that's roughly what it was, right? It's an amazing program, but again, it has to be taken very, very serious. As I will remind you, everyone in AYSO is a volunteer, including our competitive play programs, select or extra. So these coaches are not getting paid. They're doing it because they love to coach and they want to represent our region at a very high level, right? Again, super competitive. The parent has to be committed. Bring them to practice, bring them to practice. They practice 2 to 3 times a week. And again, they will travel as far as an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes even 3 hours, right? So not often, but sometimes, right? So last year, I am the extra coach for the 13-year girls. Last year, we traveled all the way to Beverly Hills, right? With traffic, it took a while, but it was super fun. But again, it has to be someone who is completely focused, loves soccer. Now, again, a coach has to apply, a coach has to be approved, then that team is then allowed to be formed. But this team has to be formed based on tryouts. The coach has no say on who gets to be on the team. The only thing he's been approved for is to be the coach, and then a committee of evaluators will have tryouts and they will evaluate the players. And if we have enough talent, that's the other thing. We have to have enough talent to represent our extra program in our region, then we will allow a team to be formed. If we don't have enough talent, unfortunately, then a team will not be formed because, again, we don't want it to be a bad experience for that team either because, again, it is super, super competitive. If you want some more information on that, you'd love your kid to be able to do that and, of course, save thousands of dollars, right? That'd be awesome. Feel free to reach out to me or look on our website, email me, call me, text me, and I'll answer any questions you may have. Go ahead in the next slide. Again, there's my information. We do have, I skipped that part, we do actually have 3 extra teams this season, and it is actually a year program. It goes from August to the end of June or June. It is a 1-year program. We do have 3. We have a 13U girls team extra, a 12U boys extra team, and a 14U boys extra team, right? So again, a coach has to be first approved, then the team has to be formed. Thank you, guys.
So we're in the very final stretches of this call. So here's just a list of contacts. This will be posted so you can get to this, and this is also on our website. So any of these board positions, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the email address to reach out to us, and we will do our best to get back to you. And with that, that is our presentation for this evening. It looks like a lot of the questions have been answered. If there's anything else that we would like to discuss, come off mute and you can ask your question. Yes, Josh did a tremendous job and there's no questions.
I will take all the credit.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute, Josh. What did Josh do?
I get the credit.
You know what?
That's a salary right there. It's that credit.
Do coaches go through a background check? Absolutely. Every volunteer, every registered volunteer goes through a background check and a series of other safety protocols to make sure that they're safe to be around our kids.
And then real quick, Pam, I know Omar, you kind of answered it, but Pam did ask. So tomorrow we should hear from our coaches. Carlos, do you have a little bit more information on that? I would think the answer is yes, like Omar had mentioned, but do we need to unmute you? Okay, hold on a sec. There we go.
Yeah, actually, again, like someone alluded to earlier, there was a glitch with the system. Oh, it was Steve. There was a glitch with the system, so some of the coaches did not get their rosters. But I just confirmed when I was on the phone. If you guys saw me trying to confirm with the coaches, all the coaches received their rosters as of 7:48 p.m. So they should be calling you tonight or tomorrow at the latest, right? So it is kind of late right now, so I don't know if they will call, but at the very least, I told them to text or email. They should be reaching out to you. If they don't, like Jaime said and Steve said, just reach out to us and we'll make sure you do.
And then,
So
I'm sorry, go for it, Steve.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna. I saw Pam kind of ask a question about
Yeah.
the schedule for 14U. I know Carlos had mentioned it, so I am a little bit more in depth with Area, who is working on the schedule right now. I know Steve is working closely with them as well. So it more than likely will not be this week. They're attempting to make it happen this week. If I were to wager a guess, I would think very early next week is when you're going to be seeing that schedule. So just heads up on that.
You're welcome. Yes, Carlos Torres.
Read my question.
Yeah, do you want to talk about it, Steve?
Of course. So the minimum age requirement that we're the national guidelines for a referee is you need to be 2 years older than the division that you're refereeing in, a minimum. So fortunately, I'm 2 years older than 8U, so I can do 8U games. So, but that's it. That's the requirement. And so what we've done in my experience has been that 12-year-olds are in a better position to start refereeing than a 10-year-old. So we ask that our youth referees come in as 12-year-olds and take the regional referee program. So yes, high school students absolutely can become a referee.
Yeah, and it's actually, sorry to interrupt, Steve. So it's also a great thing for an opportunity for them to get their volunteer hours. And we mentor them. So the kids, the high school kids, we should never be afraid. We're always by their side to make sure that they're okay. We help them until they feel comfortable enough to do it on their own. And again, they get volunteer hours. And I mean, they pretty much in a season or two, they can have all the volunteer hours for high school. So it's a great opportunity and have fun at the same time.
Few other questions coming in. So Taylor had asked, "What's the schedule for 6U girls, and will we be contacted by coaches tonight or tomorrow?" Sorry, I was late to the meeting. So maybe Steve, as far as the schedule goes, I know that is currently being worked on by our scheduler Brian at the moment. Would you wager a guess as far as an ETA? You think?
Now that the teams just got finalized, I would think that it'll be out in the next week or so. I just know for 6U, there's we have 3 game periods for that. So the first game would be at 11, the next one would be at 12, and potentially a 1 o'clock game. And so your teams would rotate through those 2 time slots, and those would always be on a Saturday. So it would be one of those 3 time slots on a Saturday, starting on the 6th and ending on the 11th or the November 1st.
Perfect. Thank you. And then Caroline, I know it looked like I missed your question, but how many? So this one's for you, Carlos. I don't know if we have to unmute you again. How many games is one obligated to referee if one becomes a referee?
That's an awesome question. So you're required to do 30 games. I'm just kidding.
30? 40?
No, listen, you can
I was
referee
gonna
as
say, I
many
just stepped
games.
in and answered the question for Carl.
You can referee as many as you want or as little as you want, right? So obviously we'll take as much, like I said earlier, as much help as you can give or as little help as you can give, right? Obviously we'd encourage you to do at least a couple games. And again, don't ever be afraid. We are not going to leave you alone. We have mentors that will be by your side.
Carlos is getting so emotional. So
Yes.
emotional thinking about the referee program.
Joking. I was
He
joking.
is. But I will say, like somebody else echoed earlier, like I had no prior soccer experience. I am from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm a football person,
Yeah.
but I love reffing, and it's because I've had great mentoring and support, and it's been great.
You're welcome. So, you know what? Real quick, just the same thing, just like Liz was saying a second ago. I think a lot of us are this way. I did not grow up even knowing anything about soccer. Nothing. I was a baseball person my entire life, and it wasn't until 10 years ago, a little bit more than that, I joined AYSO, that I started refereeing, and now I love it. I love refereeing more than almost anything as far as AYSO. So, like Mara was saying earlier, you guys, everybody will have mentors. You're going to have people on this staff that love mentoring and will be there to help you out as much as possible. So please, please, please become a referee if you can. We can never have enough.
And so, Carolyn, you work at a high school. Yeah, if you want to pass the word out through whatever would be the appropriate channel in high school to let the kids there know that if they want to become a referee, they can join a region, become a referee. That'd be fantastic. So appreciate all the help that we can get on that. And in terms of, will the training count towards referee hours? Yeah, we'll sign off on those hours that they've given to invest in themselves to do that. So yeah, absolutely, that would be something we would do. And the question on football in Green Bay, I think that's, well, we'll just.
That's just wrong. Omar and I will have words later.
Well, it's America's team down there in that Star City, whatever. Yeah.
No, that's Dallas, Steve. No. And
I
Josh,
think that's
like
Star.
I lived in Jacksonville right after the Jaguars started. So
So we were there at the same time. Nice.
we talked about this. It was weird. And Jim, I know, but
All right, it's getting late, everybody. I think we should probably let everybody start moseying along.
It looks like that we've devolved to American football at the time.
Ernie left, so we've got to be calling it now.
All right. So for the parents that are still here, thank you so much for spending your evening with us. Really looking forward to seeing you out on the fields and working with your kids and continuing to make our region a great place for you and your families to enjoy the game of soccer.
Perfect.
Thank you, parents.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you guys out there.